only spoke of my own experience that I had in India. This is my second posting. First, I was in India between 97 and 2001, and after 10 years, I came back as the director of the Hungarian Cultural Center. What I have noticed and experienced was that the society in many ways has grown up. The civil society has strengthened, but I haven't experienced almost 20 years ago what is going on now. And it was mentioned indeed that the contents that especially the young people get through the internet, through the mobile phones, through everything is basically one of the causes of what is happening now. So without filtering any content, without the over-liberalization of the contents that are coming through, the society or the mindset of the people have not changed as much as these contents have overwhelmed and this information that has come through. And this is, I think it's quite dangerous. Of course, it's difficult to censor, or it's not democratic to censor certain contents, but still, if we see what is going on at the moment, and these are really shocking statistics that every 22 minutes a woman is raped in India, then I think something needs to be done. The civil society is strengthening, and I'm really happy to see and hear that more and more NGOs are dealing with these cases, and they are trying to give some kind of relief to those who are suffering as a consequence of these crimes. Of course, internationally, this is nothing new. I mean, it happens everywhere. In every country, these crimes occur. I'm not saying this, but why has Delhi become the rape capital of the world? I mean, I don't think it's anybody's can be proud of this. What is Delhi called nowadays? People, and especially women and fathers and mothers, need to do something. The education is crucial. Children need to be educated at home, first of all, so there is no way to get out of this. So the parents have to talk about these crimes and these things to their children. Of course, the school is a very important venue where it needs to be talked about, and the education has to be there. We cannot stop that. We cannot stop saying, or we cannot stop doing the education of children and the youngsters, and of course even the universities. So I think that the curriculum, when the curriculum of the schools is put together, it is very important, and your voice has to be heard, that certain courses relating to crime, and especially against children and women, needs to be put in. This is probably the, I don't know, and also of course what was also said, the police need to be educated, because I also read the paper that sometimes if a rape victim approaches the police, they don't know or they don't want to do anything. This is not acceptable. So education is really something very important, talking about the problems and doing something about these problems. So the civil society has to have its voice heard more and more, and I don't know whether there are more demonstrations or less demonstrations, but somehow this problem has to be addressed, and it has to be uprooted. The approach, I like that. I remember this unfortunate event. We were here and we saw the demonstrations just outside our gates, that thousands of people have come angrily trying to address the chief minister and the police. The voice has to be heard, and something needs to be done against what is going on. Of course, it's a social issue also. When we read, or when you see that in certain states the ratio between men and women is, 600 women to 1,000 men, or 700 or 800, this is unbelievable. So this was also mentioned, that the girl child is murdered or killed in the womb of the mother. It's not a human society which allows this, I think. I don't want to pass any judgment on any society, but we have to think about this, and this also needs to be addressed. So I think there is very serious social tension in India as well as in the world. This is not a peaceful place anymore. India, the India I remember 20 years ago was far more safe than it is now. 20 years ago, a woman could go out in the evening, there was no problem. Now it is different. As I mentioned, what I see the difference between then and now, alcohol. The liberalization of alcohol consumption is, I see, a very serious issue. You might agree, might not agree with me, but people cannot control themselves if they drink. People are not used to drinking alcohol, they are not used to consuming alcohol, and it takes time for the body to get used to it. I'm not saying that you have to try and do it, but what I see is people here cannot, first of all, they don't know how much to drink. They cannot drink with a limit. If they do, then they lose control and anything can happen. And I'm sure that in many cases, this is also a background, that alcohol, sexual content from the internet, from the movies also, this has to be, addressed. Thank you very much.